Remember this song?
No, who is this?
The System, Don't Disturb This Groove. Requested by our good friend, Eric Morrell.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
He's kind of one of those 80s trivia music savants.
He knows all that good stuff.
Just like you.
Yep. Sunset Rewind, Fan Zone Episode 8 coming at you live. Joined today by Anthony League of Los Alamitos. Thanks for being here, Anthony.
Thank you.
So, let's jump right into it with the Fan Zone comments for the week. Let's start off with Elijah Benson. Love watching the players talk about the games. Have you guys considered bringing in the coaches as well?
We would. The problem is, you got to understand, these guys are slammed on the weekends. All day Saturday.
Busy.
All day Sunday. They're breaking down film. They're game planning for their next opponent. I mean, they also have wives and kids and lives outside of football. To ask them to come down to the studio, it's just not. It's not practical. We'd love to have them on, but they're busy. We've got to respect their time. We've interviewed them all at different points. There's a time and place for that, but in the season, it's just not practical.
Having been a varsity coach for many years, under three great head coaches that we all know well, Coach Feldman, Coach Fenton, and Coach Cobley, coached on their staffs. Yeah, those weekends, you're putting in the time. There are no easy games.
Right.
There are no easy games, so you got to put in the time and watch film and get prepared and create a game plan for the following week.
And the more of the kids we can have, the better.
Yeah,
so we're really making a conscious effort to do more interviews after the game, getting those on Instagram, get them on X, bring them in the studio like Anthony. So it's been great. So good question, but it's just probably not going to happen.
Cody Kellogg, great question here. There's a website that posts the projected CIF brackets for each division. It's updated weekly. Can you guys add that to your Fan Zone show? Yeah, we can definitely look into doing something like that.
Have you seen that? Do you know what he's talking about? There's a website where it has the projections of all the teams in each division, and they actually make a thing.
Oh, yes, I've seen that so far. We're in D2.
Right.
Projected in D2 at number 6, I believe.
Yeah, so each week it updates, which is kind of cool. You can actually see who you're playing round 1 and 2, and it's kind of fun.
And I was looking at that, Anthony. You know who's on the opposite side of the bracket, which ironically enough, if it does end up that way, Sarah.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
I was like, Sarah Losal final. We're going all the way back to the beginning. Because remember that scrimmage we went to? Remember 22-21. You guys came roaring back. Sarah was up 21-7. You guys came back, went for 2. That was a scrimmage, and that was awesome.
Yeah.
So can you imagine a championship game between those two?
100%. You played in the Open twice now. And I've talked to Cobley about this a lot. And he loves it because to him it's an honor to play against the best in that division.
Bosco and Mater Dei, right?
But you ultimately run into one of those ringers, and it's like, all right, this is not going to happen. Do you have are you fine with going Division II and at least making a run in CIF and having a realistic chance to compete for a CIF championship? Because you've already done one, right?
Even though it's not D1, like the name of it,
right?
I'm still okay, even though it still hurts knowing how we're a better team than D2.
Right.
D2, we still have a chance of winning all the way through.
Like when you see those D2, D3 guys getting rings, you're like, dude, come on, man. If we're in that division, we got this, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, so you've done the one thing, now is your chance to do the other. So you're cool going D2, which, by the way, those are good football teams.
No, those are great football teams.
You're not playing like these bottom feeders.
But Anthony's right, like their open division last year, but I mean, Los Al would have won any other division last year.
Right, or certainly would have been competing to the end. So, okay, good.
So, Ishmael Cuevas. You mentioned that a lot of the teams are now getting players eligible for this week's games. CIF should just allow open enrollment for sports. It would solve a lot of wasted time and lost opportunities. Ooh, that's quite a statement. Open enrollment.
If you make it a free-for-all, it could get weird
quick.
I
mean, look what's happening in college right now.
The way it is now, correct me if I'm wrong, if you transfer but don't move, you have to sit out 30 days.
Right, and it amounts to 5 games in football.
Right, which... Okay, that's a reasonable, I hate to use the word punishment, but it's going to make you really think it through. Is your situation where you're currently at so bad that you're willing to sit out 5 games to do it? Or if you move legitimately or get an address, you can play right away. And look, moving's not easy. It takes time, it takes money. So if you're really that adamant about leaving the school, so much to the point where you're willing to move, that's fine. That's one thing with CIF that I think is fair the way it is set up now.
Right.
As long as they're consistently enforcing it.
It's an interesting idea that Ishmael has. I just wonder what would be the long-term effects of that,
I can remember a couple years ago we had a player who missed practice, so he had to sit the first half.
Right.
So he didn't come to the second practice. I call mom at home. She goes, "Well, he's not coming because he's not playing this week anyway." And I'm like,
I
remember that? So
yes.
He ended up transferring the next day to, I want to say Magnolia. I forget. I don't even want to say that.
Right.
Anyway, good kid, nice family. But it's like every time there's an issue with the coach or player, they might just bolt out of town.
Right.
So you're trying to prevent that.
That's kind of, you've seen that happen kind of in college now.
Right. So, no, the way it's set up now, I'm fine with.
So Joseph Dubman wrote in and said, I keep getting trivia wrong, so I'm just going to sit back on this one. Haha. Sorry for the confusion. Yes, I did play at Los Al and got the privilege to play at Idaho. So the Vandals.
Vandals.
We were
go
right.
Vandals. Your favorite punk band, by the way.
Oh, great band, man. I love that I can be a part of the Sunset League still as a coach. All the kids I see on and off the field have a great head on their shoulders. I think that speaks volumes to the parents and schools educating these young men. League is finally here. Let's go. I agree, Coach.
Well stated, Coach.
So wait, he is coaching at Los Al.
He played at Los Al. No,
Okay,
he's coaching at Huntington.
At Huntington, played at Los Al.
Right.
All right. So Griffin alum. Thanks, Coach Dubman. Rich Carrillo, awesome show, fellas. Thanks, Rich, and thanks for always contributing to the show with all the great trivia and all the facts he gives us.
He sent us a trivia question, but there was actually 5 in 1.
I was reading through. I'm like, I could pull like 7 different trivia questions from this one trivia question he gave us.
He made our job easy for the rest of the year.
Tommy Tar.
Taryn.
The Admiral must do play-by-play. Tommy will be in Hawaii and watching the game on Tar TV. Tommy sees Newport Harbor Huntington Beach game going into OT. Well, hope you had a great time in Hawaii, and yes, you did get to listen to Taryn, but man, your sailors really stepped up, Tommy.
Now, Taryn, you had some technical difficulties. What was the problem? Because Tommy Tar's texting me feverishly that there was no feed. What happened?
Yeah, there was we couldn't get the stream going. We had background issues when it came to getting the camera connected as well as us connected. And
was that something you screwed up?
No.
Are you sure?
What happened, Taryn?
That you gotta ask Tar TV that. I'm not in charge of the camera.
Were you wearing?
So you're gonna blame somebody else? Is that my?
Were you wearing
the
correctly?
I'm the guy that's supposed to be on the camera. I don't work the camera.
Did you wear the tie that Tommy gave you?
Unfortunately, no.
All right, we're gonna teach you how to tie a tie after the show.
Sounds good.
All right.
Rich Carrillo, our good friend Mo and Katie. I'd love to visit your Costa Mesa studio and chop it up with both of you. You two are great. Well, thank you, Rich. Thanks for the invite. I'm currently completing a project in Arizona and plan to be in Wildcat Country well into December. Wow.
What is he doing? Building a skyscraper? He's been there for 6 months now.
He's doing something in Arizona. However, I am
DMS
thankful
what you're doing. I'm curious.
I can enjoy the 23 Sunset League football season vicariously through the Sunset Rewind staff and your great guests. FYI, I've actually begun organizing my memoirs from my last 15 years as a CIF football official. Oh, CIF football ref. All right.
Yeah.
One day I hope to assemble a book of officiating ideas and experiences for young officials based on my 400-plus games on the gridiron as a zebra. That would be great, Rich. That would be great.
That's kind of how this all started. We wanted to bring him in the studio. So Kent Backel, the voice of Los Al's, got a connection. Tony Brock is an OC sports official, and I was going to reach out to him and maybe get him and Carrillo in the studio and get the refs' perspectives, because all we ever do is rail on the refs.
Yeah.
And maybe rightfully so.
I think that would be great, though, for
they have a story to tell, too, right?
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Anthony. Do you ever get a crew, and when you see them, oh, God, this crew again? Because they're not, I want to word this properly, sometimes most Los Al friendly. Do you ever see that, or are you so focused on the game that's the farthest thing from your mind?
Usually I'm more focused on the game.
It's a good answer.
But usually if it's over and over again, it will start to bug me a little.
Do your coaches get on the ref? Some coaches are just grinding the whole time, the refs. Others just don't say anything. Do you ever see the interaction between your staff and the refs, or again, are you more focused on the game?
When I do see it, it's usually when it's a bad call, and they'll just be talking to them while the play's going on.
Right. Halfway out on the field.
Yeah, and they'll be angry because it's understandable it was a bad call, but they'll just ignore them. Then when it happens again, it just emphasizes.
I got a great
level 10.
I got a great Coach Fenton referee story for you, Anthony. So 2013, Coach Fenton's coaching it. We're at a school called Webb in Claremont, small private school. And we're down in Carlsbad in San Diego playing the Army-Navy Academy or whatever it is. And it's a Saturday day game. And I'm on the sideline. And I'm too close to the field. Ref runs by and bumps into me. And I almost knock him over. He keeps running. And as he's running, I see the flag go up. And I think we'd already had a sideline warning. And the flag goes up. And Coach Fenton's looking at the ref what happened? What happened? What happened? Because there's no holding or there's nothing bad with the play. Before the ref can get to him, I walk up to Coach Fenton. I tap him on the shoulder. Dolster, what's up? It's on me. What? It's on me. What's on you? I go, that flag. So I went up to
He's
Coach
like the
Fenton.
last guy whose doghouse you want to get in. I'm sure you know
And
firsthand,
then
right?
sure enough, the ref came over and it's like, that coach there, I bumped into him. That's 15 yards. I'm like, sorry, coach.
We had a rule at the freshman level. If you got a flag as a coach for getting bumped by the ref,
I remember-
you had to
I remember
buy
that.
everybody
I remember that.
Pepsis after
Yeah,
the game
I
at
remember.
Chili's. And
Yeah.
I used to beg the ref, say, flag this coach, please. I'll give you $10 under the table.
That's when you had like, who was on that staff? I
We had
remember that,
millionaire
yeah.
friend Perry. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Bostradamus, regarding playoff strength of schedule, Trump's league record did not get Fountain Valley recognized last year with the Sunset League being much stronger across the board last season. To that point, all the teams should get a berth and could win titles in appropriate divisions. Now, that would be something.
You know who Bostradamus is, right?
Who is that?
It's Kane's dad.
Oh!
Elroy. Yeah. So I can see the...
Oh,
why he
Bo
might-
Elroy. Okay, yeah.
Strength of schedule does matter. However, if you've got a team, and I'll give you a perfect example. Last year, San Juan Hills was, I believe it's San Juan Hills. They were 0-5.
Right, and
But
then they went 3-7.
Yeah, then they went 3-2 in league.
Got in, yeah.
So you have leagues that are, or teams that are automatic qualifiers.
Correct.
So had they not automatically qualified, they would have been out. But if you have teams that had bad preseasons but automatically qualify, it bumps those teams
Yep.
on the bubble. So that's a perfect example how Fountain Valley could have gotten in last year.
Yep.
But those teams that probably shouldn't have been in, but got automatically qualified in, bumped them. So strength of schedule matters, but it also matters how those teams perform in league. So it's kind of a balancing act. I still think all 6 teams have a good shot.
I do
in,
too.
As crazy as that sounds, we'll see. But yeah,
See
that's
how it works out.
one of those things.
Anna Aguilar. I go to a lot of games and take photos. Are you guys open to posting some of the pics on your show? If so, what's the best way to get them to you? Absolutely, Anna. Thank you very much for the offer. Yeah.
If you go to our Twitter or our X account, just DM us, and we'll absolutely put them on, and we'll give you credit and shout-outs and all that. Remember last year Cooper Hook had that really good catch?
Yep.
And the dad or his neighbor
Yep.
did it. It was a great shot.
Right.
And sometimes from the stands or on the sidelines, we can get good shots. So absolutely, send us your stuff, and we'll put it on.
What about there's a note here, Mo's follow-up about the refs question.
Oh, yeah. So last week somebody asked about the accountability of the refs, and
Right,
we kind of got
right.
off on a tangent
The
with
whole
something
red
else.
line thing.
Yeah, right. So the refs get access to Huddle. They actually do grade themselves and watch it. Because, look, the refs don't care who wins or loses the game. They want to do as best job as they can. And so they do watch the games. The white hat will actually grade his crew, and then they kind of go from there. And then if a crew is really that bad, you as a coaching staff can what's called redline them. But you really want to save those because there's only so many crews out there. And if you redline everybody, try playing a game without a refereeing crew.
Well, yeah, and if you're redlining everybody, that's more of an indictment on you than
Right.
Yeah.
So look, these guys are human. They're doing their best. You got to appreciate
and
the
and
effort.
it's hard to be a referee. I've heard stories that numbers are down because one, think about it. If you have a job and you're supporting a family, and you're refereeing like a lower level game, how many times can you just go to your boss or your supervisor? Hey, I'm leaving to ref a high school game. So it has to be people that are able to be at a high school early, and some of the abuse that these guys take. You and I
about
are
a thankless
coaches.
job.
And
I'll tell
Anthony,
you-
you've seen it as a player. Yeah.
So our buddy at Mission, Chris Watkins,
Correct.
he's been umpiring forever softball, and he was talking to a guy. This was years ago, and the guy was bummed out. He's a referee. He's like, I got to do the Mission game tonight. And Chris is like, why is that a problem? He's like, dude, Bob Johnson just goes off the whole game. And then ref knew he was going to get an earful for 4
that's
quarters.
funny.
I remember playing for him at El Toro, and
Yeah.
the second that game started, he was just railing. So, they're human too. They've got feelings and all that stuff. So it's a two-way street. So
Adrian Rivera brought something interesting up. Cole Leinert just transferred to Newport Harbor.
Right.
So everybody's heard that story by now. They asked, what do you guys think? And then they say, I'm surprised you didn't break the story. Laugh out loud. Well, as far as breaking the story,
okay,
we kind of had some...
we're not the OC Register.
Right.
This is Sunset Rewind. I could have broken a lot of
We
stories
could have-
through the years.
I'll just say this. We kind of knew about this, but we weren't really at liberty to say. Does that make sense?
That's just not our place.
Right.
We're here to promote the
Yeah.
schools, the kids, the programs. I had heard about that for weeks from 3
Yeah,
different sources.
let's just say when that officially happened, neither one of us were surprised.
Well, remember last year
We'll
with
see.
Coach O'Shea, I had heard a
Right.
couple weeks earlier
Yeah,
he was
right.
taking off from CDM
Yeah.
and going to St. Margaret's, I want to say. But
Yeah. Sometimes people tell us things that are like, that are off the record, and out of respect, we don't share them.
when those guys are
Yeah.
ready to announce it, let them. That's
Yeah.
that's not our you heard the term "stay in your lane."
Right.
That's
Stay in
just
our
not our
lane,
thing.
yeah.
I'm not interested in.
But
breaking
no,
stories.
that's great news for Newport Harbor, and that's going to be fun to see how that plays out. That's awesome. Newport Harbor is a great high school. I mean, and it's a great football program.
Yeah, good for them.
So, hey, can we go to the slideshow, please, Cole? So, Sunset Rewind, where are they now? Colton Joseph, Newport Harbor High School class of 2023. Remember him, Anthony?
No, I do not.
Good quarter. He
was out in the first quarter, right?
Yeah. He came from San Juan Hills, but he did play last year at Newport Harbor. So you know where he is now, Coach?
Old Dominion?
Yeah, there he is. Old
Looking
Dominion,
good.
class of
Took a little off the
2027.
sides, a little off the back.
Yeah, so
Clean cut.
Catching
Anthony,
up?
do you talk to any of your old teammates from last year's or the year before?
I talked to Gavin Porch
Oh,
sometimes.
how's
because
Gavin doing?
He's doing pretty good at
Where's-
Cerritos College right now.
Okay.
He's balling out right now.
Is
so
he?
whenever I see him, because we played at Servite and they was there.
Right.
Whenever I saw him, I would say what's up to him, see how they do.
Gavin's a good dude.
So last year, you and Damian Henderson, I called you Batman and Robin. It was a great 1-2 punch. He's off at Colorado State. Does he play in it all, or do you know how he's doing? Have you heard from him?
I haven't really heard much from him.
Okay.
But I think he's starting to get more in the rotation now.
Oh, so he's getting some playing time, or he's
He's probably going to start playing.
what? Dad, go ahead.
Yesterday.
Oh, he did? Got it?
Oh, he did.
Oh,
you
nice.
can talk to Mike.
Nice.
Yesterday, he got in yesterday. I think he had 7 carries for, I think it was 41 yards. I think
Oh,
he
really?
averaged
Nice.
Oh, dude.
Nice.
I think he averaged 4.4 yards yesterday. So
That's getting
yeah,
done.
that was his, I think that was his first game. He started getting touches in, so that starts happening.
So
Look
Mr.
out.
League is in the
nice.
house. Anthony's
Nice.
dad helping out, and you know what's so great about this job is we get to know you guys, and then when you go off to college, like I'm a
So
Navy
fall,
fan now
yeah.
because Carson,
Colorado State fan?
Damon.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go so far as to say I'm an SC fan, but Bruce Bible
You
posted
got
a
it.
picture of Mackay warming up, and I don't know if he played yesterday, but
Mackay
He
and
did get
Malachi
in?
are there.
I know. You know what? Fight on.
Yeah,
it's
I
awful
know
to say,
you're a
but-
UCLA guy, but
you're so happy. For
and we
these
got my
kids.
guy at San Diego State.
You know, Mackay.
Shin Brennan.
Mackay was my name. So our first condo in
Yeah, I know. Mackay lives right
he
over
was
there.
like right
yeah.
around the
Yeah.
corner. So
I remember talking to his mom last year, because you and I live in that neighborhood. And
right. All right. So do you talk to any of those guys? Not really.
Gavin's really the only
That's
one.
the one guy. All right. Well, fair enough. All right. What do we got?
Sunset League news. Here you go. One of your guys, Manoa Falpusa. Los Alamitos just received a scholarship offer. Coach, do it. To the U.
The U. It's all about the U.
University of
he's-
Miami.
He's a load, man. That guy's so good. He plays running back, D line.
Well, look, I got a picture of him scoring a touchdown there against Santa Margarita. That's him getting in the end zone.
The best picture of him is laying in bed when he's about 3 years old with his bulldog, or I've got that saved somewhere. When he's playing in the NFL, I'm going to send
Yeah.
that to like NFL Films and.
So
anyway.
congratulations, Manoa. I'm sure that's one of many offers to come.
Real
Manoa.
quick, do you want to play post high school football?
Yes, I do.
Have you been looking at any schools? Have you talked to anybody yet, or were you? I mean, you're only a junior, so you got time.
So far, I've been talking to Washington and Utah most recently, and they were asking me to try and come up to a game soon. And I
Nice.
actually
And they're going to take you up there?
Well, we're going to try and fly up there. It's not an official visit yet.
Right, right.
I went on a recruiting trip
Washington's
with-
a beautiful campus, by the way.
with Quentin Pounds in
Yeah.
2015. We went to Seattle.
Seattle.
Beautiful. Oh, Washington's great.
We'll talk to the dude from Edison, Julius. He's
Yeah.
from Seattle. He can tell you all the spots to go.
Great college. I definitely recommend going there.
Where did
It's
Washington? Did they
beautiful.
end up in the Big Ten? Where did they go?
They ended up, I think, right?
Big
It's the
Ten.
Big Ten, yeah.
Yeah,
them
Big
and
Ten,
Oregon.
yeah.
Washington's going to the Big Ten.
All
right, with
thank you,
USC,
Tanner.
UCLA.
All right, so you can play against your teammates, your old teammates.
We got another Sunset Leaguer received a scholarship offer. Zach Giuliano, who we saw play the other night for CDM, University of Mississippi scholarship offer. So SEC.
His dad is the
territory.
best, former El Toro Charger. So every time I see the dad, he just can't help it. He just loves to talk El Toro football.
Yeah.
So we're talking after the CDM game, after they played Edison, and son's a great guy. Dad starts talking about El Toro in the 90s, and his two sons were there, and they kind of start walking away like, here goes Dad again. You can just tell it's like, here we go again. But no, great family. Heck of a football player. Again, only a junior, so he's going to have a lot more offers than Ole Miss, but that's a heck of a school. I think they won last night. They beat LSU.
Yeah, they beat LSU. Lane Kiffin, right?
SEC, good for him.
So the answer to last week's trivia question, the long and storied history of Newport Harbor. Did you know this, Taryn? First CIF championship happened in 1994.
I'm
And-
actually shocked. They've been around for a long time. You'd
Right.
have thought maybe a team from the 30s or 40s.
Well, that
might
was
have.
under legendary coach Jeff Brinkley. Do you remember Coach Brinkley, Taryn, from high school?
Oh, absolutely. He
How
was
long
also
was
my
he-
PE teacher.
How long was he at Harbor? Like 30 years, right? Or-
Yeah.
Yeah, he was there, prior to Lofthouse. Great coach. I remember I met him. Man, it's probably been 10 years ago or so. We were at passing league there. Really good guy, nice guy.
Taryn, did you like him as a PE coach?
Absolutely.
What grade did you get in that class?
A as always.
Are you sure?
I doubt you got an A
course.
PE, Taryn.
Yeah.
The bar must be low over at Harbor for
In fact,
grades.
I actually was thinking about playing football, but then he veered me to basketball, and I actually played basketball for a little bit.
Can you dunk?
Can you dunk?
Of course not.
Oh.
Well, at least you're honest. What were you, the point guard?
Center.
All right, good enough.
All right, this week, the legendary Sunset League. I need my John Facenda NFL voice.
Do it.
There is perhaps no high school athletic league more storied and or celebrated in Southern California, perhaps anywhere in the United States, than the iconic Sunset League. Trivia time. How many combined CIF championship football games have the current members of the Sunset League played in? So the 6 current teams, because there's been 24 total teams.
Right.
So if you added them all up, how many championship games have the 6 current schools
If
appeared
somebody
in?
gets that right and puts in the comments, come into our studio. I will buy you lunch next door and a couple round of drinks, because that would be impressive. I have no idea.
And I already know that. When this was from Rich Carrillo, remember
course.
I told you there's 7 questions in the one that he sent us. So I just pulled this out. I'm like, that's a good one.
Him and Tar are like the godfathers of the Sunset
Yeah.
League as far as knowledge. And
So thank you,
history.
Rich. This is a Rich Carrillo inspired question. So we'll give you the answer next week. Or like Coach Pottios said, put in the comments. Most player of the week.
Mr. Hansen. I don't have stats on him, but this is one of those games where you don't need stats. He passed the
my
eye
goodness.
test. I mean, I could have made our whole breakdown, a highlight film of him, how many hits he got, how
There was a
disruptive
couple
he
times
was.
we were at that game. There's a couple times on the sideline when he made tackles. I was like this.
Well, one of the plays he hit a net, and a net slid 5 yards on the ground. Like, I kind of skid on the ground.
It looked
the
like he was on a
momentum.
sled. It was right in front of me too. So I mean, it was literally in 3D coming right at me. He hit him, and net just kept sliding. I'm like, is he going to stop?
Yeah, no, he's the real deal.
my
It's
God.
I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but it's kind of looking like, and there's a lot of football between now and then, Edison and Los Al are on a collision course. And again, we got a long ways to go, so we can talk about it. The players
So they're playing
can't, but
Huntington this week, and I talked with
rival game.
Coach.
His uncle?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he said he can't wait to see him going against Taunuhu this week against Nathan.
Oh, yeah, that's a good war.
How great
They
is
got
that
2
gonna be?
D1 linemen at
and
Huntington.
Morella.
Yeah.
So here is my player of the week, Alonzo Esparza, 14 of 15 passing, 93.3% accuracy rate, 229 yards, 5 touchdowns, 49-10 victory. What's it like to play with this guy, Anthony?
It's like another leader on the field. Even though he's new, he fit into the program right off the bat and just started leading everybody since game 1.
I've never seen a player so confident in himself and his teammates. He came in just so brash and brass. People misinterpret cockiness. I think he's genuinely
he's confident.
Yeah, the person you see is sincere.
And I've said it before, it reminds me of Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, I mean the way he slings the ball and he's got
That
an
reminds
energy.
me of Patrick Mahomes.
I don't know how to figure out quarterback ratings, but those kind of stats, it had to be something ridiculous. But Losa, here's a stat for you: they only ran 20 plays on offense that game, which is almost unheard of.
And he's 14 of 15.
Yeah, so TJ Fenton probably had already finished breaking down film by the time the bus pulled into the Los Al parking lot, because 20 plays.
How do you like TJ Fenton's offense?
I love it.
So
spread.
Oh, what's he
you
gonna
can run
say? I
the
hate
ball.
it.
Well, no, true story. TJ Fenton was a student of mine.
Oh, really?
I taught him in freshman English at Cypress. Yeah, he was actually in my class.
And he has a record for you, right?
I think he still holds a record. He's got like the highest grade ever in my class ever as a teacher, because he did
percentage-wise, he had an
did
A+,
all the
but-
extra credit. So like at the end of the year, like when his grade came out, it was like 107% or something like that. It was like unreal.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good job,
and
TJ.
I coached TJ at Webb that one year too.
Yeah.
So
I remember that.
So you know what? There was another team in the Sunset League that put up 59 points. So I had to go with co-players of the week. Jaden O'Neal. I had to.
You know Jaden, right?
Look at
Yep,
Jaden.
yep.
22 of 30 passing, 73.3% accuracy, 207 yards, 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, Harbor found their groove.
I mean, so Jaden, you get the player of the week as well. So I went with Alonzo and Jaden.
Good call. I'm cool with that.
Sunset Rewind Coach of the Week, Ernie Saggio from Edison, linebackers and tight ends coach, and he has a nephew that you know pretty well, Mr. Hansen.
Mr. Hansen.
So Ernie, Coach, thank you for all the positive input you always give us. You're always so friendly whenever we see you, and it's great talking football with you. I was when I was at your house yesterday doing the pre-production show, I was texting him, and I sent him that one highlight clip that you were.
Oh, what did he say? Did he respond?
Oh, he was like, "Yeah, that's awesome."
Yeah.
He goes, we're commenting on like how the kid doesn't quit. Hansen just kept going, circles back. So it's great talking football with him. He's a great dude. Just one of those guys that's just cool to hang out with.
So he played linebacker back in the day. Do you know who he started over?
Somewhat.
So yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Who played
UCLA
and then
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Exactly. Yeah. All right.
Sunset League games this week. All right.
All right. Let's go to the schedule.
Fountain Valley is at number 12. Corona Del Mar. Fountain Valley comes in at 0-1 in league, 3-3 overall, and same with CDM, 0-1 in league, 3-3 overall. How do you see this game going?
Fountain Valley, like I said, all the Los Al people were raving about how good they are. It's the best team they've seen in a long time. I talked to Colin after the CDM game, and he was of course disappointed, but he said, we just got to get off the mat and find our mojo. They've got a lot of talented people. It's at CDM. I love Fountain Valley, but I'm going to go with the Sea Kings in this one.
Big game because you never want to start 0-2 in league, so this is a really important game for both of these schools. But at the end of the day, I think, close game, but I think the Sea Kings get it done.
All right.
What about? We want Anthony to chime in at all on that?
You got a feeling on this one, Anthony?
I would say this was going to be a close game, but I still have CDM on this one.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so we're 3 for 3. Taryn? Thanks, Mr. League.
Yeah. Thanks.
Anthony's
Mr.
dad's in the background pointing at Taryn like, oh, that's right, you're part of the team.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say this: Corona Del Mar cannot afford to go 0-2 going into that next league game against Los Al. I gotta go with Corona Del Mar. This is kind of their get right game, but expect Fountain Valley to fight and scrap to the bitter end.
Taryn, you went to Newport Harbor. Are you allowed to pick Corona Del Mar?
Of course I am. I gotta be.
Sure?
I gotta be fair
The
to
Sailors
all
are
6
going
teams.
to.
Tommy Tar, will you please put in the comments how you feel about Taryn picking CDM to win a football game? And then come get your tie. He's not wearing it.
Nah.
All right, what's next?
Next game, Huntington Beach versus number 11, Edison. Huntington comes in at 0-1, 3-3 overall, and Edison won their first game, of course, we were at 1-0 in league, 3-3 overall.
Rival game, I never know what to expect out of Huntington. They're just, sometimes they look so good, sometimes they struggle. They haven't won a home game this year.
Yep.
Technically, they're the road team, but they both play at the same stadium, so I don't know if that's going to be a
that
problem.
game's at Huntington Beach where they both play. And man, like Coach Ernie said, I can't wait to see that matchup. The Hansen versus the Huntington O-line.
At the end of the day, I just think Edison's physicality will be the difference. I love Huntington. I think Coach Brown's done a great job. He's got a great staff. Those coaches have been great to us. But, if you're going to ask me to make a pick, I'm going to go with Edison.
Edison's going to have their hands full, though, with Edmonds and Gray and that high-powered offense that Huntington has. So, and don't forget Jared Satano and the rest of Jackson Brown, the rest of the guys. So, but at the end of the day, I think the size and the strength and the quickness and the agility of Edison wins that ball game.
Anthony, you got a thought on this one?
It's hard to say this, but I see Edison win this one as well.
It hurts to say Edison. I get it. Taryn, you want to jump in?
Well, one of the reasons why Huntington Beach struggled and Brady Edmonds struggled is because that was his first league game, and unfortunately Newport Harbor kind of gave him an unfortunate welcome. And now it's a jump to another level because Edison is starting to find their groove. They've won 2 in a row, and I hate to do this to Huntington Beach, but I got to go with Edison. I got to pick them to win the Surf City Showdown.
Mr. Lee, do you want to jump in and give your opinion on this game or make a prediction?
Well.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
I feel like my son there, but kind of have Edison taking this one.
Okay.
I got a chance to see them in the off season, some of the 707s.
Right.
A little partial to the quarterback over there. I like them a lot and their family. So, but they're a pretty high power, real disciplined team. So there's a couple kids at Huntington Beach that we know that I've seen kind of come up that quarterber's over there. I kind of watched them kind of growing up, and then I think Troy Brown is over there too. Troy Foster.
Yeah.
Is over there too. So, but I got Edison on that.
Okay. All right. Clean sweep.
Did you see what Taryn did there?
No.
He threw in the word groove, and that was our opening song. Like, don't disturb this. Taryn, did you
Funny
do that
how
on
things work
purpose?
out.
Taryn is genius.
Taryn's on it, man.
Man.
About to get a raise.
Here we go. Newport Harbor ranked number 14. Los Alamitos number 7. Sailors are 1-0, 3-3. Griffins are 1-0, 4-2 overall.
Look, Los Al is a team to beat this year. Let's be honest. However, Newport's playing good ball. They found their groove last week, and
this is going to be a good game.
Yeah, I think going in this game from the Harbor perspective, you're playing as good as you played all year.
Right.
So you want that mojo. They've got it. Obviously, Los Al is going to have something to say about that. They're on the road. They're at Los Alamitos. It's going to be at Westminster High, which is great because that's about 5 miles from our house if we do go to that game. Los Al just, at the end of the day, I love the Sailors. I think Lofthouse has done a great job, but I'm going to go with Los Al.
Yeah, I love the Sailors too, but I mean, the machine that is Los Al. You got this guy, Anthony League. You got Esparza. You got, just so many.
Just get the roster out and start reading names, right?
Like right now, could you imagine being in the film room at Newport Harbor? How are you preparing for Los Al?
One play at a time. One play at a time. Anthony, do you have a thought on this game? Who do you have? I think it's going to go Harbor, but let's wait and see.
Deep into consideration, I would have to say Los Al.
You're going to go with Los Al?
Yeah. Los Al.
Wow, I'm actually surprised.
Los Al's winning this game. Taryn, do you dare pick Newport Harbor here?
It's going to be tough for Newport Harbor to win this one. I'll say this. They did a good job in containing Tyler Young last week. They held him to only 53 rushing yards, but that's because Huntington Beach just fell behind and they had to start throwing the ball. Right. So I really hate to do this to my Sailor fans and Newport Harbor fans.
Turn the volume up.
But I got to go with Los Al because they've got a three-headed monster at the running back position.
They do. It's the Three Musketeers, right?
Yeah. Yes, and that's a massive jump from Huntington Beach. And Alonzo Esparza is playing some great football as of late. That defense is going to be nasty, and their O-line is just filled with savages. So Newport Harbor is going to have to pull out all the tricks, all the stops, and do everything in its power to get the win on the road.
So last year, it was Batman and Robin in the backfield. This year, it's the Three Musketeers.
Yep.
They just, next man up, and you don't miss much of a beat. Mr. League, do you have a thought on this game? I got to think you're going with Harbor, but I might be wrong.
Well, it's going to be a pretty good game. I think it's going to be a lot of real personal for a lot of players on the team. There's
a lot of emotions, you're right.
A lot of emotions, a lot of players on the other team that's from, ex-Los Al players. So I kind of got to go with the Griffins on this one, but I expect a real good game. But, like the consensus is that running game, that quarterback, that O-line.
Yep.
Let's talk about Capono, Mackay, and all them, right? Zion.
Yep.
And that defense. Whew.
I know, with those backers back, Maverick and Goose.
You know who has a great life is TJ Fenton. You imagine me, the offensive coordinator of
right?
Los Al.
Yeah.
Hey, who am I going to throw to?
Keep an eye on the fans in the stadium. That could be interesting because those parents get fired up and, like Mr. League was saying, a lot of emotions. They'll be curious to see if they behave.
It's going to be a great game. All right.
So where are we at?
So if you have any interest in watching Los Alamitos, Newport Harbor, or Huntington Beach live streaming, there are the addresses where you can find those games. And all three of those are great broadcasts. Kent McKell, Justin Connolly for Los Al, of course. We were on their show this week on Tuesday.
Yep, from the Griffin Grill.
Time. Newport Harbor home games, you can catch Taryn doing some of those. And then Dominic Lorenz for Huntington Beach does a great job as well.
Have you been on Kent's show? You have to have been at the Griffin Grill.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Good times?
Yeah.
It is a good job.
Yeah.
Him and Justin.
A lot of fun. Always love being on their show.
Yeah.
Sunset Rewind, Alumni of the Week. I guess nobody answered it, so you put the answer up here. That is Joy Fawcett, who went to Edison of USA Soccer, women's national team, one of the greatest soccer players of all time. That'll probably be your sister and your daughter soon, right?
That's right. She got a shot. Hey, real quick, they played Penn State, who was number 5 in the country in soccer, and they tied them, right?
Yeah, they were number 4. Yeah, 4 in the country. One of the top-rated teams. Never trailed Penn State. It was a battle. It was a great game to watch.
And she was a defender, so all game long she was just working to keep that ball out of the
It was a proud moment because I kept hearing league all through the game. So, and she missed the game last year, so she was excited to play them. They play in a couple hours today against Maryland this morning. So,
are you able to watch your game on some kind of streamline, or did you get it from the Big Ten Network?
Big Ten Network. It's on one of the ESPN channels almost every week.
ESPN 12, something like that.
Yeah, and then we watch it on the Big Ten Network every week. So every Thursday, every Sunday, and man, they're a defensive unit at Michigan.
I don't know how the playoffs work in soccer, but do they have a team that can qualify for the playoffs potentially? Do you know how that works?
Yeah.
Are they in the running for that?
They're in the hunt for qualifying for the Big Ten tournament.
Okay.
I based off wins and losses and I think points, points scored and points allowed. So it's kind of very unique. So they're on track to hit that Big Ten tournament this year.
Do they use Huddle or anything like that? Can you get her game films, or is it just what you watch on TV?
I don't know if they use Huddle, but you can go and pull the film right off the Big Ten Network and watch the game. So if I miss the game at 11, I can watch it at 3 p.m. and
Right.
it's on library on demand. So we never miss her game. She's pretty. She's amazing to watch. You know, some of her leadership, you can kind of see it.
I remember
her point there.
high school.
It's just crazy to watch some of that go down, and she's real. You know, she's real aggressive and speed. And it's always funny because me and Anthony talk about it. It'll be a breakaway for the other team. And we always go, it's always funny because they think they got away. And you see a
Here she comes,
flying
boom.
across and take the ball away. And it's like, and she just walks away. You know, she doesn't say much. She plays through her game. So
she's like Anthony, just calm, cool demeanor, but gets the job done.
Have they tried to get her to run track and field at Michigan?
It's funny. I don't know. I think they wanted her to. A couple times she teases me and my wife, Tashara, with a couple pictures like, this is the track times out here now. I'm like, oh, you gonna run? She was like, no. And I was like, why'd you send us the picture?
Just see a picture with the baton in her hand.
Yeah, she always teases every now and then. She goes on the track. She goes to the track meets. She goes to the football games.
Like I said, if the Michigan softball coach was smart, they'd recruit her to play softball. You couldn't throw her out. She'd steal bases left and right.
She's really in tune with all the sports, and she's diehard academics, but she's really in tune with all the sports at the school. You know, and during the draft, she's like, she said, Dad, 49ers drafted Ronnie Bell. I was like, you know who Ronnie Bell is? She's like, yeah, I know all the guys.
So wait, is your whole family Niner fans? I know Anthony's a big Niner fan. Is that everybody?
That's everybody in the family.
Now, any reason why?
My wife.
Is she from the Bay Area or just?
She just grew up. I'm a diehard football fan. I grew up a Houston Oilers fan.
Oh, Houston Oilers.
Earl Campbell,
Ernest
Warren
Gibbons.
Moon, the original run and shoot.
Yep.
And then they went to the Tennessee Titans.
Jack Pardee was their head coach.
With Eddie George. And
Eddie George.
And I was a big Ohio State fan, so my daughter went to Michigan. It was like,
family divided, our house divided.
Yeah, so, and then, as we all decided, big Niner fans, and Jerry Rice, Roger Craig, You
see Jerry Rice's kid at USC now.
Oh, he was balling. I like him. I think he's going to be good. So we go to the games every year, twice a year. We get to the Niner games, and it's always fun to go to SoFi against the Rams because, the whole stadium is
You guys beat them every time you play them.
That was 70% Niners fans.
Yeah,
I know.
When they were there.
Unbelievable.
And look at that defense. Look at look how they swarm and how Brock Purdy's playing and that running game of Christian McCaffrey. I sit down on Anthony all the time and say, just watch Christian McCaffrey run.
He's a dude.
I don't like the Niners at all, but I love watching Debo.
Yeah. So Anthony, you're a multi-sport athlete as well, right? What else? You do baseball and track, correct?
Yeah.
But they're both in the spring. How do you work? Did you just talk to the coaches and work out a deal?
Since I played JV baseball last year, I would have to talk to my coach. I'll say, Coach, I have a track meet actually I had a game that same day of the meet. I'm like, and they already took me out, so I was like, hey, Coach, I have a track meet.
Can I just
right
go
now.
to the track?
Yeah, I'm like, Coach, can I go suit up for the track meet since I'm already taking it out? He's like, yeah, go ahead.
That's good.
And after I finished, I changed. I ran to the field because it's right next to the field. I warm up, then I run the 100 right after.
So go ahead.
I asked you about a tackle or a touchdown. How about this? Hitting a home run or a touchdown?
Ooh.
Home runs are tough.
Yeah.
Touchdowns are a dime a dozen at Los Al, but a home run, I don't care.
Home runs are more rare for me because I'm more.
They're rare for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So Coach didn't play a lot of baseball growing up. He's a football guy.
I didn't play any baseball.
Okay, yeah, he's not I'm a diehard Dodgers fan, but I mean, the feeling when you make contact with a solid pitch, I mean,
you get like the chills through your body, when you hit it clean.
And you're getting the hands through the zone, barreling the ball. Oh.
So now, do you do those spring sports to get out of spring ball for football? Because spring ball is the worst. Or do you get out of spring ball, or do you still have to go to those practices?
I get to get out of spring ball.
But you're playing another sport. It's not like you're taking off and going to Volcano Burger or something. Yeah.
Even though I still want to go to the spring practice because I love practicing for football, but the spring sports is also fun for me as well.
All right, good.
So this week's Sunset Rewind Alumna of the Week.
Yes.
I have no idea.
All right, well, listen to the clue. Maybe this will ring some bells. When this part-time swimmer wasn't busy being the first person to swim across the Bering Strait, you might have found her swimming across the English Channel or swimming from Palos Verdes to Catalina.
Okay.
Do you know who it is?
I don't know the name, but now, yeah.
Who is a Sunset alum, and where did she go?
Okay, that's a great one. You're going.
Dude, I'm going deep. I'm not messing around this
deep,
year. This is next level stuff.
Wow.
All right.
All right, so that'll do it for another week. Sunset Rewind Fan Zone, episode 8. Moving right along. Can't believe we're already in week 2 of league already, but man.
Yeah.
Another
fast.
great slate of games this week. Can't wait. Anthony League, thank you so much for joining us today, as well as Mr. League.
All League, Anthony League.
Remember that name, Anaya League. You're going to see her Olympics, World Cup.
Yep.
Good stuff, playing at University of Michigan now. As usual, thank you to Cole and Murphy and Emma and Nick and Taryn, of course, and Eric and our whole crew here at Sunset Rewind. Please remember to hit that subscribe button. If you want to follow us on X, you can find us at @sunset_rewind. And on Instagram, it's sunset_rewind. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope you have a great week.
I remember this song, by the way.
Yeah.
When he dropped
awesome,
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good song.
Thanks to Eric Morrell for suggesting this.
Yeah, good call.
Hey, thanks again for joining us. Take care. God bless. We'll see you next week.